So far, we've created a single document type and a single content node based on that. In this episode, we're going to build a little more on our website by adding a few subpages and see how we can use permissions to set up the structure we want. The agenda for this video looks like this. We'll start by adding a new document type and create some content based on that. Then we'll have a look at the permissions menu and start building our website structure by using the Allow Child Node Types option. We'll talk briefly about root nodes. Finally, I'll give you a quick introduction to allowing document types to be varied by culture and how you can define document types as an element type to be used in nested content properties. Let's get started. At the moment, we only have one document type with a few groups and properties. If we go to the content section, we have a single content node, the front page. We can all agree that a site is more than only a front page, right? We might want to add something like an About Us page, a contact page, or perhaps a news area. So if we at this point wanted to create one of these pages under the front page, we will click the three little dots. As you can see, we're informed that currently there are no document types available under the content nodes that are using the homepage document type. There are two reasons for this. One is obvious. We've only created one document type so far. And the other reason is that we need to allow for content of a certain type to be created under this type of content. So let's do that. We'll start by setting up an additional document type to have something more to work with. So back in the settings section here, create another document type. We will call it text page. This will be used for simple text pages on our website. Now, while we're at it, let's specify the icon as well. We will add a content group. And under this, we will create another property called body text. And here we will reuse the one we created for our body text property on the homepage document type. We'll submit and save our new document type here. Great. Now that we have a document type for subpages, we have to allow all pages using this text page document type to be created under the homepage document type. So we'll find the homepage document type here to the left. Click on the permissions menu. As you can see, we have an option here to allow content of a specific type to be created under content using this document type. So following the interface by clicking Add Child, we'll select our new text page from the box here. When we now save the document type, it will be possible for us to create content nodes using the text page document type under nodes created by the homepage document type. So back in the content section, let's try again to create a page under our front page. Where before we weren't allowed to do anything here, we can now create a subpage using the text page document type. Let's create a few content nodes here. We'll create an About Us page and also a contact page. Setting permissions like these allows you to build a website structure that's easy for content editors to understand and follow. It also avoids clutter, as you can decide exactly which document types should be allowed to be created where in the structure. That's really smart, right? So the next thing we're going to cover here in this video are root nodes. The root nodes are the content nodes placed in the root of the website like our front page is right now. So if we click on the content tree up here, we can create a new root node for our website. At the moment, we can choose both the text page and the homepage document types. This could potentially be dangerous if someone creates a text page in the root. In some cases, that might lead to a website crashing. To avoid that, we can specify exactly which document types should be allowed to be created as a root node. By default, all document types can be created as root nodes unless at least one is set to be allowed at the root. So if we go back to the permissions menu on the homepage document type, we're going to use the option here at the top to say, yes, we do want to allow this type of content at the root. We'll save and go back to the content section. Now if we try to create another root node from the content tree here, we can only choose the allowed document type, the homepage document type. Finally, let's briefly talk about the remaining two options on the permission menu. The Allow Varying by Culture option here is something you want to enable when you're building a multilingual site. It will allow you to create constant variations of the document type, one for each language you're going to have on the website. How to create a multilingual site using variations is covered in detail in another chapter. You can find a link to it in the description for this video. The last option here in the permissions menu is to define document types as element types. This is used when working with the nested content property editor. Nested content allows you to use document types defined as element types directly in another document type. It's very extensible and adds a lot of flexibility for your content creators. You will find a link in the description below this video to an entire chapter about using nested content on your website. Before we move on to the next video, let's do a quick review. We use the permissions menu on your document types to build a structure for our document types and content nodes, and deciding which content types should be allowed at the root of our website. We briefly talked about the options available for allowing content variations based on language, and how to define document types as element types to be used in nested content. In the next chapter, we'll be extending even more on our website when we talk about list views and template menus. See you there.